Hello you guys and welcome to Hero Wars livestream for subscribers. My name is Bob and I am Hero Wars community manager. Now, if you saw the previous stream for our Russian subscribers, I am terribly sorry for what happened in the end. We had a critical error occurring and as a result the whole stream just went down. Sorry for not ending that properly, but anyway, this is a live stream for our English-speaking players. As you can see, the gift is already in the description, if you care for that at all, of course. You can basically just go and get it right away, or you can get it later, or you can get it right away and then get back. The choice is up to you. Today we're gonna be doing several things, actually, a couple of things rather. Aside from just chatting, I would like to concentrate on playing Hero Wars. Now, as most of you know, a couple of days before we asked you about what would you like to see on our next stream for subscribers, and the options were either 13th Adventure or Outland bosses. And you know, we had that vote on two platforms, basically on Facebook and our Discord server for the web players, but we decided that we don't want to pick one of those because you guys basically wanted to see both, and you know, the whole voting thing was rather close. For example, like on Discord, most people voted for playing you know, the Outland against the bosses on their max level, and on Facebook a bit more people voted for going through the 13th Adventure. So we decided to have it both, but not through the course of the same live stream. We decided to, you know, split the content. So on today's live stream, we are going to be playing against Outland bosses on their max level. And the next live stream, we're going to be playing through the 13th Adventure. So if you were hoping for Adventure today, don't feel bad. We are going to have it, but on our next live stream for subscribers, which, by the way, you shouldn't miss if you are already subscribed to our channel and you have the notifications turned on. If you're here for a different reason, then why don't you just go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell, and you will never miss the stream ever again. Now, I know that some of you have an issue with clicking the bell. You get some sort of an error. If you get this error, try to unsubscribe and then subscribe back. From what I know, it actually, you know, it actually helps if you would like to do that. So before we go into Outland, let me just you know, read your questions just a little bit, answer them, but we will be mainly concentrating on talking about strategies that you can use in Outland against very powerful bosses. So keep that in mind. If I won't read your question, I'm sorry, I won't read a lot of questions today because as you guys picked, we are going to play Outland bosses. All right, so I'm just gonna read some of those. Howdy everyone, I love this game. Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Not exactly a question, but hey, I would like to read that anyway. Hello Bob from Brazil. Can you talk about next event? Yeah, why not? Like, the next event is tomorrow, like it usually is on Friday. It's going to be the one with Titan Soulstones, I believe. So you can look forward for that already. All right. Event schedule. But well, I've just told you about tomorrow's event. I hope that would be enough because I cannot disclose it any further. You know, tomorrow is pretty close, I understand, but that's as far as I can go. All right, can you tell us, oh, right, about events again? I just answered that. Hello, and what's for books with Russian stream? I guess that was a question what happened in the Russian stream. Yeah, it basically, there was a critical error in the program that I used to stream. I was still able to see the chat, but the stream was just down. So at that moment we defeated all the bosses, so I decided we would just, you know, stop and move on to the English stream because we've already hung out for like an hour there. So yeah, sorry about that again. How about a button to not visit Rarity Fair? Rarity Fair, I understand. It's sometimes it might seem like you would not want to use it, but you know, on the higher ranks, it is actually not a bad idea. I used it a couple of times myself. When it comes, you know, like after Orange +1 or Orange +2 and further, it can actually be rather useful. But I do understand that you would like to probably skip it, and maybe something will be done about it. I will send this feedback to our developers. All right, Bob, I really need armor penetration skin for Orion. Orion. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Orion, I think. What is possibility that would happen? Orion is a very strong hero. By the way, we will be using Orion against Brog later on. And also Orion has, well, yeah, as I said, he's a strong hero. He already feels pretty good about himself in terms of win rate, and adding a new skin. As you know, it is always increasing heroes' viability, which is not, is not necessary if the hero is strong already. So probably not going to happen anytime soon. All right, will there be battle simulation at max level with pets and heroes together? Well, as of now, you can use pets in the test battles, but not at their max level. I know, that can be a little bit frustrating. I personally would love that change, and me and Tanya, another Hero Wars community manager, we constantly talking about that with our developers and advocating for that idea. Hope that will happen. That will be useful, definitely. I would love that to happen. Okay, so now we are going to move on, slowly but surely, to the Outland bosses. Let me just, set the stage here so you won't go through on all those unnecessary windows, and let's go. All right, so what is going to happen? We have heroes here which are not necessarily at their strongest. They are not at the max level of what they could possibly be. We did it so that, the fights would actually be more close to what you guys would have probably experienced, and I realized that I did not resurrect the bosses after the previous live stream. So I'm sorry, let me take just a minute and do that real quick. For now, I'll just, I guess I'll be talking some strats with you. We'll be fighting 3 Outland bosses. With each and every single one of them, there are different strategies and different heroes that we will use. Some heroes are basically, well, they're kind of mandatory, some heroes are just staple. You will have to use some of the heroes, but some of them can be interchanged, actually. So what I will do, I will tell which heroes we will definitely need, and you guys will be able to just choose whichever heroes you would like to add to the already existing roster. Let's see if that will happen. For now, I have resurrected the bosses. Sorry, I totally forgot to do that after the previous live stream, but it's not a big deal. I just need to type something here real quick. All right, okay, we're almost ready to go, and we're back in the game. Sorry about that delay, folks. Let's go right into the Outland. Now the bosses are resurrected. We will start with Elisa. Subjectively, the easiest boss out of 3, but on the previous live stream I had such an issue with it. Elisa was enormously mean to me. Now what happens is, Elisa at the very early stage of the game, she throws a poison dart, if I can call that, to a random friendly hero, friendly to you of course, and that hero, if that is a squishy marksman, well, that hero will just die after a single blow. So what we will have to keep in mind is that there are heroes that we will need to basically keep others alive, and those heroes that we must have, let me just remove the others, are basically Martha, Cornelius, and Drew. Martha is a great healer, the best that we can have in battle against Elisa, and Cornelius will defend us from magic attack. Elisa has severe magic attacks, and Cornelius is basically decreasing her magic attack. He is increasing our magic defense, and his artifact weapon also increases our magical defense, which will prove very useful. So right now, let's see if you would like me to pick someone alongside this triple. If there won't be any options, then no worries. I just have a staple pack that I will use, but regardless, if you want to add, if you want me to add someone there, go ahead, tell me who you want to pick. Like Kira. Yeah, I see Kira. Yeah, Kira is pretty good. Kira is a hero that will be dealing with spiders with her first ability. That ability is really good. It's it buffs, physical attack, and it removes the spiders, which is going to be really useful. Now I see Kira. Well, we already have Kira. I see Sebastian, I see Artemis and Ginger. A lot of Ginger. Now, before I add Ginger, and no problem, I will add Ginger. If Alyssa will throw her dart in either Kira or Ginger in the beginning of the battle, they will die right away. They will just die. There's no way around it. Too much magic damage. But it doesn't mean that we will necessarily lose. So let's go right ahead and see what we can do, and I'll be explaining the battle as it goes along. Now, as I already said, this is subjectively probably one of the easiest out of 3 battles. All right. Already luck is on our side for now, because the first spit was on Cornelius. And, well, Kira is dead, but it doesn't matter. If we have Drew and Ginger standing here, and if we will get a buff from Cornelius in time, then magical attack won't matter all that much. And as we can see, already 2 of our marksmen are dead, which I kind of warned you guys about. But it doesn't mean that we are done just yet. Drew is going to be ignoring all those pesky spiders, because in his ultimate ability he's attacking the furthest one from him. Cornelius is gonna provide a lot of physical damage with his first skill, and will provide magic defense. But right now heroes are not really doing well at all. We'll see if Drew will stay alive through all of that. Martha will probably not be able to heal him back, because, you know, we didn't have all that such a great luck in the beginning. Yeah, as we can see, we lacked just a little bit, because Kira and Ginger, well, they basically died right away. A little bit of bad luck there, but it doesn't matter. Someone saying Sebastian. Yeah, Sebastian is pretty good, actually. I think we will change one of the marksmen that we already have for Sebastian. Let's say we change Ginger. See if Sebastian will be proven more useful. He will be definitely useful in terms of giving our heroes additional crit chance, which they otherwise don't have. Well, Drew does have it, but Kira doesn't without that buff. Martha is feeling alright. She got the first hit, but she was back at the full health just a second ago. It's actually very lucky for Martha to be taking those hits instead of anyone else here, because she's the she's the tankiest one. Well, maybe after Drew. But Kira, yeah, she's not dying. She's dealing with the spiders here, as we can see. It's actually surprising no one's dead yet, so Elisa is choosing really poor targets for her poison dart to throw, which is lucky for us. Alright, just as I said it, she killed Kira. Never mind. But we still have 4 heroes standing. Drew is in his ultimate ability, which means he is basically impossible to kill now. Sebastian will give him additional crit chance, and that will be basically our main damage dealer to the rest of this fight. Now, those spiders are very pesky. They are attacking Drew all the time, and he's losing health all the time when he's not in ultimate ability, but it doesn't matter. Second attempt is actually pretty good, because like on the previous stream it took me like I don't know, like 4 attempts, something like that. Let's see the info, let's see how much damage we dealt and who did it. Actually, Cornelius has proven to be one of the best damage dealers here. 1.5 million damage. Drew is following him shortly after. Kira was basically dealing with the spiders and giving everyone else a buff, because she was constantly having her first ability ready. Alright, so with the, you know, probably easiest hero, easiest boss out of the way. Let me see if there's anything going on in chat. And after that, I will be moving to Vajar, who I thought would be second after the easy boss, you know, second to the easiest. But it turns out that Vajar just kicked my ass on the previous stream like 10 times maybe. I had to move on to Brog before I got back to Vajar. That was hilarious. But I hope he will not humiliate me any further on this live stream, at least. So let's go and see whether lots of Russians in chat. Glad to see that lots of people stayed after the Russian stream. That's cool. People advising me to use Ishmael. Spoiler alert, Ishmael will not survive long enough against Brog, because, well, it just turns out Brog kills all those squishes if they don't dodge, and, well, Ishmael, he just won't dodge at all. Alright, Kira teams can usually kill car teams. That's what I was advocating for on the previous live stream with subscribers that we had. I totally agree with you. And very Astrid and Lucas. Yes, exactly. I think that was a comment regarding the team against Vajar. I will explain why those heroes might be viable against him. Now, what else? All right, I don't see too many questions in the chat at all, so let's just move on. Let's just move on to the, to Vajar, and we will see how lucky we will be this time. Now, you can already see here that we have a team prearranged for it, basically. The reason for it being, we need heroes who will give us armor with their first artifacts. So this third hero, these three heroes here, their first abilities activate bonus armor. We will definitely need bonus armor against Vajar, because otherwise there's absolutely no way we can live through this fight. It's going to be really, really bad if we don't have armor. Now, also you can see here we have Qin Mao. Qin Mao's third ability deals damage based on percentage. So Vajar has lots of health, and the percentage damage on that health is enormous. So Qin Mao is basically a staple here. We won't be able to tweak her even a bit. So there is some variety when it comes to pets here, right? I mean, Qin Mao right now has Albus as her patron, but we could switch it to Kane. Kane is not bad at all. It actually will help her dodge, and dodging is what we really, really want against Vajar. Qin Mao will have to dodge several blows. Otherwise, this is all just absolutely useless. So let's go ahead and see if we can win. Now, I will be restarting a fight if Qin Mao dies right from the start, because I'll tell you right away, there is no way we will have enough damage without her. Also, that said, we need to have Rufus. I was talking about him being the provider of additional armor, but he will also bring a shield, a magic shield that will consume magic damage, because see, Vajar has 3 attacks. One of them is magical, one of them is physical, and the other one knocks one of the enemies in the air, which is the least scary one, actually. So let's go ahead and see if we are lucky enough. I'll be explaining a bit more details during the process of the fight. What we want to do here is have some luck, and we are already having some. Qin Mao dodged the first blow, which is amazing. Also, pay attention to Vajar's health. It's going to disappear on 1/5 right now, and it happened. The reason for it being, Qin Mao used her third ability, and her third ability gave us a lot of damage right away, right from the start. All right, so our first armor is up, our shield is up. It is good. It is going well so far. What we want to do, we want to chain the artifacts that give us additional armor. We don't want to stack them. It doesn't really help us all that much. So right as we see the next Vajar's blow, which is basically activate the next ability that would give us armor, and we're happy. We're just happy campers, as you can see. We're not dying at all. This is a very lucky run, you guys. Our previous runs, it took 10 attempts with different heroes, but here it's going well so far. I'm really afraid I'm going to jinx it now that I've said it. Hope it's not the case. But so far, yes, it is very lucky run. Qin Mao is dodging like crazy. I don't believe she received any damage during this fight at all, which is insane. All right, now I'm a bit concerned because we didn't have an armor for that blow, but we do now. We do have armor for the next blow, and we will do that right away, right when he swings before attacking, right now. This armor will provide us with necessary survivability. The shield will protect us from the rain of fire, or whatever you wish to call it. Yeah, and just like that, we are having a lot of luck here with this strategy, just chaining the artifacts that give us armor. Even if your heroes are less strong than that, this strategy is still very viable. You just have to remember that artifact power is basically what makes you win more against those kind of bosses. Like Outland bosses, they depend a lot, your wins against them depend a lot on the artifact power. You want to have as much of that as possible. And First attempt, you guys. Oh my god, I did not expect that at all. It never went well. It never goes well on the first attempt, and I'm always grateful that we have like multiple, like actually not multiple, but endless attempts in Outland. Otherwise, it would be horrible. All right, now that we defeated the second boss, I will read some questions from the chat if I will find any. Two questions. Are supposed to be new hero anytime soon, and any major events in the next month? Well, concerning new hero, I will tell you this. It's not too long before it comes out. New hero is not far away, you guys. That's a little bit of a spoiler that you get. All right. Oh, right. There was a second question in that question. Something about, all right, major events. Well, I don't know what you consider major events, but you know, the next one is tomorrow. It's about Titan Soulstones. I don't know if that's major for you, but maybe you mean something like, you know, something like Halloween, or maybe, you know, Summer Festival. So Summer Festival itself is going to happen somewhere in summer, but before that, I'm not sure if we're going to have anything as major as that. But like, if we get any news regarding that, we will definitely tell you through our official pages. So no worries. All right, what's tomorrow event? Titan Soulstones, basically. Just said. Is this for mobile? No, not at all, Ricky. This is a stream for basically, you know, computer version of the game, browser version of the game, and the gifts in the description. Which, by the way, we have gifts in the description. If you guys haven't claimed those yet, it is about time. Yeah, it's not for mobile though, because like mobile, Hero Wars Mobile has their own YouTube channel. They have their own groups. They have their own gifts. Those are pretty much different games in terms of very significant differences between them. Okay. You said last time it's already decided which hero gets a makeover. Can you give away who it is, or at least give us a clue? I'm sorry, I cannot. I was consulting about that. I was asking how much details I can shed on that, but I cannot tell you which is the next hero. But what I do know is that this is one of the heroes which people were asked about a lot in terms of makeover, in terms of buffing that hero. So you can speculate using that information, but this is as far as I can go. Will a new Titanium appear? I guess it's a new Titan, right? Well, I don't think so, because like developers right now are happy with the balance between elements that we have right now, and so adding another element will disturb that balance. It will basically become a completely different, you know, mechanic, which is not necessarily good. So every kind of change in that regards is going to, you know, is going to wait, because right now there's no talks about adding new Titans, adding new elements. It's out of the question for now. I will try to, is it Ragni? Oh, so Ragni, you know, like a character? Well, no, the next hero is not Ragni or Ragni. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but it's not her. Okay. Will we ever get skins for pets? Well, pets, it takes a lot of time to, you know, to get the pet to the max level. So adding a skin to it is not necessarily a good thing, right? Because think about it this way. You log in daily, you spend some resources on improving your Titans, your pets, your heroes, and you already have so much places in which you can spend your resources. Adding another place, in terms of potential skins for pets, is, well, it can be frustrating, right? Because, you know, pets themselves require attention, and I think it's good, like the way they are right now in terms of how you level them up. So adding new skins, I don't know. I personally am not happy about that idea. Our developers will hear it. Maybe they will, you know, or they will like to think about it. Thanks for the suggestion, nonetheless. No, please, no pet skins. See, someone already in the chat is objecting. I only played this for 2 months. Do you release new heroes? How often? How often is a good question. If my memory serves me right, last year we had, I want to say 3 new heroes. It was, I think Satori was in 2019, it was Martha, and then it was Sebastian. I think it was 3 heroes. And the next, maybe I'm wrong about that. But the next one is going to be not... You won't have to wait too long for the next one, actually. Next one is in the making. The progress is good. I already saw, the concept art of this hero. I already saw what that hero looks like. I think it's amazing. I think you guys will like it, and the wait is not too long from now on. So hang in there. We will get you. We will provide you with more information on our on our official pages, such as Facebook and Discord. Okay. Now, I think we dealt with previous bosses with relative ease. And now what we are having is Brog. Now, Brog is a peculiar guy, because if the previous bosses were sometimes mean to me because of my bad luck, Brog is usually only mean to you if you don't manage to fight him properly. And it feels good in some way. It feels good that a certain amount of skill is required to defeat Brog. I'm going to talk about what he as a boss will do. Every 30 seconds, Brog charges your team and then gets back, dealing damage on both ways. And that damage is significant. We will have to negate it using our armor artifact that Helios possesses as a necessary tool to overcome that damage. Without that damage, our key heroes will die. And, excuse me, there are only actually 3 key heroes here. Arguably 4. Now you have to have on this level against Brog, Orion, Dorian, and Helios. Now, Dorian will provide you with the aura that you will use to heal your heroes with damage. Helios will provide you with both his artifact, which will give you additional and very necessary armor, and Orion will deal the biggest amount of damage, basically. Now, as you can see, we already have Mojo here. Now, you can deal without Mojo, but the good thing about Mojo is that you don't actually even need him to survive. In fact, your Mojo can just die right away in the battle and still be useful, because what Mojo does, he puts a mark on an enemy boss, just basically enemy, which is Brog, and this mark will deal periodic magical damage, and the amount of damage is increased by more damage that Brog gets while under that mark. So basically, that mark stays for the entire fight. Mojo can die after it. It won't matter at all. And the amount of magical damage that we will have will actually result in Brog dying rather soon. Now, I can mess this up. There is a way for me to mess this up. If I won't press Orion's and Helios's ult before Brog charges me, I will die. That's the way I can fail this. So I will require my entire concentration that I can possibly take to get through this fight. Now, the last stream, it was relatively easy to me. That was the only boss that I defeated on my first go, which is not necessarily going to be the case here, but we will see. Now, Mojo has already placed his mark. We cannot use Helios's ultimate before 30 seconds mark, simply because he will not have enough energy for when we will really need it, and we will need it before the charge. We will also use Astaroth's ability, because that way we will have more armor. And now I'm using all the skills before the charge. Let's see if I did it right. Yes, if I didn't do this right, Orion wouldn't have healed himself with his attacks by attacking Brog. But right now he does not have Dorian's aura, which makes me a little bit worried about how it's going to happen next. But it seems like fine. It seems fine. I think we're getting through this. We managed to do the main thing, which was to protect ourselves with Helios's armor artifact. And as you can see, Brog goes down just like that. It's actually kind of a shame. I thought that at least Brog will actually put some fight. But if you guys saw the previous Russian stream for some reason, oh my god, did I have a bad luck there. That was quite a content. But right now, as you can see, Mojo dealt the majority of damage, which is not surprising at all. His mark was basically what made this fight absolutely insanely productive. from our behalf. So even if you have heroes and they are not as, you know, leveled up as these heroes that you can see here, by using the same strategy, you can basically defeat Brog on very high levels. So you can take that strategy from it. I hope that was useful to you. And now that we defeated all the bosses, so all the damage, I think we can just, you know, chat with you guys for a little bit, and then I will be off. Let me just, you know, get rid of this and transition to the chat. Hope that stream will not crash this time, because last time it crashed just as I was about to transition. I hope that's not happening this time. Let's go. Wish me luck. Okay, we are all here. Thankfully, nothing has crashed. It's great. Let me just, you know, close Hero Wars and open the chat so I can answer some of your questions before I leave. Easy win. Exactly. Yes, that was easy, but I did not expect that to go well. Like when I was preparing for this, it was horrible, you guys. I was dying all the time. I was dying absolutely all the time, no matter what heroes I used. So I'm really happy how this went down this time. I was rather lucky. Let's go to the questions. Whew, can I get the link to the gift? If you check out the description of this live stream, you will actually find it. So go get it. Hey Bob, Andvari Soulstone does drop on heroic chest. It does. It does. Andvari's hero. Oh, I'm sorry. Andvari Soulstones do drop from heroic chest. So good luck. When we will get more Sebastian Soulstones? Usually, you know, if considering the way it was before, Sebastian Soulstones should become available once the new hero is released. Like, I'm not 100% sure it's going to be like this time, but that's, you know, I'm telling you this coming from previous experience. So I expect Sebastian Soulstones to appear somewhere around when the new hero will be introduced. All right. Please, could you create some quests to obtain fragments of totem? It's impossible to spend millions of gems to acquire those. Well, definitely the totem fragments are the rarest items in the game, basically. But millions of gems is, well, it's a little bit too much. Like, of course, if you want like to maximize your totem as fast as possible, and you have no time to spare, you could use this amount of gems, then it will be more useful than just opening the spheres. But there are several steps in terms of how much you spent, how much gems you spent, which basically protects you from bad luck. At some point, if you haven't gotten a totem for quite some time, you will get it if you reach a certain amount of gems spent on opening those totems. Now, I understand that you would probably want them to be acquired more easily, but the amount of power they give to the Titans is just incomparable to any other resource in the game. This is why they're so hard to get, and this is why it's probably not going to change anytime soon. I'm sorry, my voice is starting to crack. Hope I will manage to get it to the end. Bob, how can we suggest to the developers to change the last skin for Astaroth, the lunar skin, into magic defense instead of magic attack, and for Kin Mao, the last one, in health? The reason Astaroth got magic attack, because indeed it's not as potent for him as magic defense would be, but Astaroth is a very strong character right now. And this character is very popular. Lots of players has him. So as a result, giving him more magic defense might, you know, it has a possibility of breaking the character completely. So yeah, that was the reasoning behind not giving him more armor or more magic defense or health in that regard. And Kin Mao, you know, I play as Kin Mao. I have Kin Mao in my team. And I personally would like to see more health on her as well. But armor penetration is basically what serves the purpose of the hero. The hero should deal more damage, and this hero should buff others to deal more damage. And armor penetration is basically the way to go with someone like Kin Mao. Okay, Bob, are the drops in location random, or they depend on party, power, stars, or color? They're entirely random. It doesn't matter at all how many stars you have on a mission. The only restriction that stars give is that you can't trade a mission if it's not, you know, if it hasn't been 3-starred before. But in terms of like hero power, hero composition, anything else, it doesn't depend on that. It's completely random. Okay. How can we know Lisa, Brog, and Vajar's stats? Actually, even I don't know them. Like, I guess developers have them, but I can't see how useful that information could possibly be, you know. I can hardly calculate anything from it. I hope the strategies that I showed you will substitute for this kind of knowledge. All right. Oh, does Sebastian's attack skin have different animations or music like some other skins? Actually, I don't know that. I have Sebastian and I have his romantic skin, but I don't know what exactly is different. But, you know, now that you mentioned it, I think the sound effects might be different. I heard something like that, but now I'm not sure if that's, you know, like something that appeared in my head after you asked me or if it's actually there. So you can test it if... Oh, maybe I could test it. Actually, I could test it, and you know, if I will remember, then next live stream I will give you an answer if there will be such a question again. All right. Will you be increasing VIP level? I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. VIP 15 is basically a considerable milestone as it is right now, along with the bonuses that are provided. And we don't want to discourage players who have lesser VIP level to feel like the disparity between VIP 15 and all below is getting bigger. We don't want the disparity to grow, and this is why I don't think we are having VIP 16. Whew, okay, wow, that was a lot of questions, you guys. I'm really glad you were able to join me here today. Sorry if I haven't read your question. There's a lots of you here, and you know, the main goal of the stream was to defeat Outland bosses, and we did it with some of your help as well. You helped me pick a group against Elisa. Thank you guys about that. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you will use these strategies that we talked about, that we discussed today, to defeat your Outland bosses. And of course, if you don't have the heroes I mentioned, remember that strategies actually allow to interchange some of them, because the most important part of what we saw today were the usage of artifacts. So thank you guys for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell, and that way you will see me again when the next stream is happening. And on the next stream we will be playing 13th adventure with other community managers. So everyone who wanted to see it today, don't feel bad, because you will be able to have this possibility the next stream. So again, thank you guys for joining me here today. It was a pleasure. We had a lucky run, and I will see you next time.